Oh, ladies and gents, it seems Bob Iger may have scrapped two previously announced Star Wars films. The nightmare for Star Wars continues. This is a rumour, but it comes from friend of the channel, WDW Pro, that has a fairly good track record of stuff. So we're going to report on it, we're going to take a look, we're going to discuss. And as always, thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. We are growing. We're trying to beat that bizarre YouTube algorithm at this point in time. So if you enjoy this kind of content, you enjoy my other kind of content, explain videos, lore, deep dives and reviews, hit subscribe. If you are new here, turn that bell notifications on. And please do consider becoming a member or a patron of the channel. But anyway, let's dive into this. So, like I said, this is a rumour. It's come from WDW Pro. They reported on this. And the rumour is the Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger is now scrapping two previously announced Star Wars films. Not a huge surprise. I can absolutely believe that some of this is going to happen. Why? Because it's a complete S show. So, like I said, it comes from WDW Pro, and he says, I am told that two theatrical projects, two movie projects that were going to be taking place at Lucasfilm will not. Now, whether or not they make any kind of official statement about this, or whether these just go into the dustbin of history quietly, we will find out. So what are they? What are they? Well, one of them, he's told, is the James Mangold film. Now, James Mangold, if you weren't aware of this, ladies and gents, this was announced at Star Wars Celebration. Big press release. This is the guy who did Indiana Jones and the Dial of Decrepity. And that film absolutely just mega bomb, basically. And the film that James Mangold was going to be doing was Into the Past, tell the tale of the first Jedi to wield the Force and harness it as a liberating power in an era of chaos and oppression. Funnily enough, this was actually taken directly from someone else that came up with this idea. Who was that? Oh, Del Toro and Goya. So they were going to be making this film way back when, about 6 years ago. And then they've just recycled this bloody idea. What a joke. Now, I can believe that James Mangold is not going to be making that movie. I think most people, would be very surprised if that movie gets announced and there's any green light at all. Why? Well, because his movie bombed, I'd be very surprised if he gets the keys to Star Wars with such a monumental failure that was Indiana Jones 5. It would be terrible business sense. And I like James Mangold. He's made some good films. Honestly, one of the best films I've watched for the last few years was Ford vs. Ferrari. Beautiful film. Really, really good. But yeah, Indiana Jones 5 was a huge epic flop. I'd be very surprised if he gets the keys to Star Wars. So I can believe that, absolutely. And he said all of this. I mentioned Kathy Kennedy. We've got to go backwards, really far backwards. Okay, so what about the fact that you didn't actually say that and Del Toro, made this ages ago, huh? What about that? Bizarre, super bizarre. But again, there's been a flip-flop of all of this and what they wanted to do with it as well. I wanted to be part of a saga, but I don't want to have holdings, lore in the air, and I've got to tell a story. And what I really wanted to do was, can we do a kind of 10 Commandments of the Force, kind of origin story of how the Force came to be known? Okay, but then Lucasfilm was like, yeah, we've been talking a lot about going well into the past. One of the things that's really knitting this all together, obviously, are the Jedi. What happened with the Jedi over time? Much like history, how did the Jedi evolve? They were wiped out with Order 66, then they've gradually been coming back. The question that we're going to ask with the New Order and with Rey is, does the galaxy need them anymore? Do they want them back? And that was that new Daisy Ridley film. It's just, honestly, nonsense. Absolute nonsense. That was like a weird connection that she was trying to draw. So how does that connect? It literally doesn't. Never mind. Anyway, she's insane. So WDW Pro would also say that Taika Waititi's film is being scrapped. There's been a lot of rumours about this. I reported on this because he's, it's been years and he hasn't even got a script together. Like, what are you doing? So he said, and I quote, the other movie that I've been told is essentially dead on arrival is a Taika Waititi film that he's been writing for. He may turn something in. He may get paid for it. I'm told it's dead. It's just dead. Maybe they'll pick it up years to come. But right now, there is nothing behind it at Lucasfilm, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, back in 2020, May of 2020, That's when it was announced. And there is literally no movement on this. There's no movement at all. And he said, yeah, that rumour's about 3 years old. All I say is, God forbid I make a Star Wars film about people sitting on mountains playing flutes. But then they would say, yeah, Tiger's actually working away. So it's like, well, this is just all over the place. But apparently his third act, we need a third act. So you can't nail the third act. The whole thing is just a joke. And Taika would then tell the Hollywood Reporter at the end of May that the issue was the middle part of the film, not the third act. This is what I mean. Left hand doesn't know what the right hand's saying. I've got a really good idea for it. It's just, as with all films, it's the middle part. You're like, what's going to happen? And then you look at all these other films that are so great. You're like, well, I guess they can't meet some smuggler with an alien sidekick. For the most part, I would like to take a few holidays and go and follow Rita around, just be her little toy boy, and hang out with her and just watch her perform and get her a cup of tea backstage. So that's his top priority, is just going on tour with his girlfriend. Honestly, it's a complete joke. This whole thing is an epic, epic joke. But Bob Iger has commented numerous times that he wants to make cuts. He wants to cut down on things. They cost too much money. They need to save money. They've got to buy Hulu soon. And that's going through valuation at this point in time. So they're kind of screwed with that now as well. So it makes sense that they would then go, right, well, let's save, a couple $100 million. Because we've got to pay billions for Hulu. Not good. Really not good. And it's not just that either. They've been moving around Marvel projects as well, putting them in the bin here and there. But yeah, so Mangold and Taika Waititi's films are reportedly rumoured to be in the bin. What do we think? Because I genuinely can believe that Mangold's films are in the bin. Or Mangold film is in the bin, should I say. Because Dial of Destiny was an epic failure. If he gets... It's not beyond the realms of possibility, but if he gets given the keys to Star Wars after that, Christ alive, that would be very surprising. Again, not outside the realms of possibility, but still very surprising. Taika Waititi, again, his movie wasn't particularly well received either. He doesn't seem that invested in it. But then he may just pop out and be like, oh, I've done it now, let's go. But who knows? And Taika Waititi's not exactly the golden boy in Hollywood anymore. He was considered that for a little while. He could basically do anything he wanted. But he's not, because he's done a string of flops. But let me know what you think down below. Love to hear your thoughts. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.